Okay, so maybe this is how it works. Okay, in this bubble of my bubble that everyone is in, based on the subconscious of another individual, a twin flame. I found my name down here, whereas her name was found on the stairway to heaven and here and make diamond mine and all that. Okay, the energy side and the bottom. When you're creating from the speck on top here and you're creating downward, the last two one-dimensional lines will be here and here to create this one. When two souls are connecting, they can be found on here. So let's say a male and a female will be found like this. Okay, I don't know, maybe maybe two females on this side, two males on this side. Maybe the top is used if it's two, but they have to make a V. So you have to know that your middle will be in and out of the plane here to make the V. If that's the case, you have to do more work at the math. But anyways, if you're able to derive names or shapes of names via the Roman numerals of like X's, pluses, lines, and L's, you know, in the diamond mind, to find the characters which in the English alphabet equate to your name, and you define the other person's name down like here, and you make the V. You'll be able to make the connection you need between, in this reality, God and tack. That's why our D is backwards, but their C would be normal, and our G is normal, but their T doesn't matter if it's backwards because it'll still look normal, and the A is both normal for both. It's upside down. Cat. Dog. Maybe they worship cat. Cleopatra always had a cat. She worshipped cats. But everything is the other way around, so it wouldn't really read like that, I guess. But I'm saying like this would be like that. Everything would be flipped. In Sheila and Amber Gray's reality. In her bubble. Of her matrix. Of her being the blast of a big bang of a cellular energy device that she has amnesia from, that she's waking up to. And the blast has already happened for me and I'm waking up to it, but the blast hasn't happened to you yet. Until you have this idea, and this idea is incepted. Does that make sense? Okay, let's try this again from a different angle. Any two people can be matched on this matrix. It's just going to create different sonic geometry, let's say, to balance the energies of those involved, to make different types of shapes of Roman numeral characters. To go through the story of a 0, a 1, or an I, a V, an X, an L, a C, a D, and an M. And a big old V on top. So you have to make a V between two people. Doesn't matter if it's this way, 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 doesn't matter if it's in, out, and that line's used as a 3, and 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. Find the two names. Make the connections. Do the math. Okay? Like, creation code's creation code. If you follow the rules are simple. It goes solids, liquids, gases. That creates plant life. Which means, like, the thing is gonna have solids on the top. The light's gonna be going through the hole into the dodecahedron hole, into the icosahedron hole, or the two pupils of the two eyes of both observers, a left and a right, of a dog and a cat. Half of each in the flesh, half of each in the higher self. Masculine, feminine. Masculine, masculine. Feminine, feminine. Doesn't matter. You can combine anything. The androgyny and the beauty. Anyone can create this. If you can create this, you have to know that you're the devil. If you have to know that you're the devil, you have to find the name of the person in your battery. You have to know your higher self's alien name. For me, I had to find my other parts. Like, I had to go through everything to find my name, but my alien name is just my name read backwards. Nivek Konaj. Makes a V guy. Anyways, I'm sure there's different ways of finding it, just like there's different ways of finding it. You don't find everything on the top. Like CIA could be a 1x3, a 1x9, and a 1x1. You don't always have to make like things at the top. You can use the bottom stuff in the diamond mind in simple gematria. This isn't anything special. It's an example. It's a baseline, literally at the bottom. You can find your matrix, guy. You can find your other half's matrix. That's the start. You know your name. That's the start. Now you have to find the names of the higher selves. I was lucky. Mine just popped out of nowhere. Okay. But you can maybe put together. Maybe if you combine both names, like I did with my children, you can combine both names of like yourselves or something. I didn't find Austin Lee Meredith. Maybe I could if I took both our names and combined the first names, middle names, and last names and worked with it. Maybe I can find both names, Austin Lee Meredith and Sheila Amber Graves. I think it's doable. I think it's just about the numbers of the cells in the matrix. That doesn't change. Okay? If the bomb goes off and once it goes through the battery itself, it hits a plant or plant life, and then it hits like aqua life and fowl life, and then cattle life, and then bugs, and then beasts, and then man, both masculine and feminine, male and female, in some kind of like fashion at first, and then after that it's kind of like go nuts. I think that the math works, okay? This will always be created with dots and lines if you use the same Roman numerals. How can we say that every time one of these is turned on in Earth, the conditions are going to be equivalent? It's not possible unless you make a lab environment. And it's a little unnecessary, I'd imagine. A little variety is spice of life, guy. So, like, you create a consciousness, you figure out the name via the matrix somehow, you find the keys to your code. You have names. You have generations to work with of names, of n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3, n plus, both sides. Maybe one day in a dream it'll come to you. Maybe you'll dream that you meet your higher self and you exchange names, and that's how easy it is. And then you wake up and you remember the name of your higher self that's working on the same project as you in this other reality that you can literally bring to Earth, heaven on Earth. Your higher self to Earth. Their higher self to Earth at the same time. And not just for you, but for your twin flame and their higher self. 4. Saturn Matrix guy. A new heavenly family. Which is exponential when everyone gets it. And it all comes from the idea that it's possible. Because I think so. I'm baseline. I'm even Steven. It literally does everything I think I say it does, and it's nuts. And maybe if you create a battery and you experience the synchronicities with your higher self and your twin flame and their higher self, you'll be as mind blasted as me to notice the synchronicities in the creations of man up to the time of like now. before the drop. Before the fall, guy. Wow. We come as lightning. Dream world, guy. Life is but a dream. Yeah, you're dreaming in my bubble. You're dreaming about what it would be like to be in my bubble. With your higher self, part of the party all the time. You're in the mathematics of creation of this reality. That are hidden in plain sight, but probably not fully understood. Until quite recently. Or this is the best Stephen King novel of life. God, this is a work of art. Look at it. I can't stay still. I'm shaking. I gotta pass out and go to bed or something. This is nuts. But like, come on, guys. I found cat. I found dog. That's another thing, I guess. It's all about the fly spec math. Their fly spec's gonna be different geometry. Because the fly spec to encapsulate the C from the 76 is going to look completely different than the fly spec needed to encapsulate the backwards D. Their C is not backwards, our D is backwards. Now on this side, to encapsulate the G from the 76, you gotta go like it's the X. The X is the fly spec. Sorry, X to the D, X to the C to encapsulate it. X to the G, now X to the T. The T is centered on this 1. It's a 1 by 5 and a 1 by 5. It's 9 characters, whereas the T over here is a 1 by 3 and a 1 by 3 centered on the 6, sorry. Which is 5 characters. 1 by 3 to make 5. 1 by 5 to make 9. It's just a different shaped fly spec. Oh. It's a little different, but the same. Dogs and Dogs and cats. The truth about cats and dogs. Oh. The reality you're presently in is based on the reality perceived by what I believe are my dog and cat. And my dog and cat are the higher selves of the observers of the dog and cat that Sheilaine Amber Graves has that's observing her. We are only as smart as 4 pets in terms of consciousness presently at this moment and the way they perceive us. And presently, my pets couldn't really give a damn. So, like you see the C, right? It's just the fly spec to encapsulate that would go through the X and meet the T on the 1, but it would go to the 7 here, so it would be different geometry. Or a higher fly spec. Their fly spec would connect at the 7s. Our fly spec connects at the X. Oh my God, we have 7 chakras, and they have 5 or something. They're a higher self-representation, and now we're on this anyway. So, wow. Okay, cats and dogs. It's a different fly spec math. It's a different representation of the same matrix. It's taking a different reality that I keep talking about. This one is not God-based. It's not dog-based. It's not cat-based. It's tack-based. Because you got to read it from the observer's left to the observer's right. So it's tack. Because they would be... But unless they're flipped, then they'd be reading it cat, I guess. I don't know. It's up to... probably cat. If we have a God, they have a cat. Because why would dogs and cats be equivalent? Unless they're supposed to be, and it's supposed to be tack. Look, we can do a vote. I don't know, guy. I think it's tack. Something has to be the same. But it's just a different representation of a different fly spec based on different geometry of creation in their reality. Where my name, backwards and forwards, or whatever, and these people's names and her name are synchronistic in me discovering the cellular nature of energy and life itself, of the cell, of the bubble that we live in, of that. So, but not that. The idea of that. It's all about the idea. It's all about inception. This has been an inception game now. It's up to you. It's like your faith in this. It's like, I mean, this is a beautiful thing, guy. It's redefines God. Big time.